I recently picked up the Nikon D600 as a replacement for my Nikon D700, primarily as a stills camera, but this one has video capability, full frame sensor, and so in this episode I want to talk about my impressions of the image that this produces for video. So let's go take a look. The first few clips that you see here were straight out of the camera with a standard picture style. We have not done any color correction or color grading, so I just wanted you to see exactly what it looks like coming straight out of the camera, and I'm pretty pleased with the results. It looks very sharp to me, sharper than the Canon 60D or any other crop frame sensor camera, and that's simply because of physics. When you have a larger sensor, you can get a sharper image given the same lens. So very pleased with the results there so far. Again, these straight out of the camera, all of these shot with a Nikon 105mm f1.8 manual focus lens, very old lens, actually made in the late 1980s, I believe, or early 1990s, and produces very nice results as far as I'm concerned. Bought that on eBay a few years ago and been very happy with the results, both for still images and for video. Now, starting with this clip right here, I actually shot with a flatter picture style, which I created, or picture control, I guess they call them in the Nikon side, and then did some color correction afterwards on this clip as well. And then these last two clips were shot at ISO 3200, and I'm pretty happy with the image. I haven't applied any sort of noise reduction, and I also not only did some color correction, but also a little bit of color grading to see how far I could push it and retain the, get the colors and effects I wanted. And it looks like I'm pretty happy with where we ended up. You're able to push it pretty well for a compressed codec like pretty much all of the DSLRs use. So the Nikon D600 video footage that comes out of the camera, I'm very pleased with, both if you're using a standard picture control or if you're using a customized flat picture control. Both of them seem to look really great. Straight out of the camera, if you just want a quick workflow afterwards, I think you'll be happy with it. If you want to do a little bit more color correction and grading, then flat picture style seems to be working pretty nicely as well. There are three things that the video mode is lacking on the Nikon D600 that really kind of are frustrating. First of all, to give this some context, Nikon says on their own site, imaging.nikon.com, that the Nikon D600 uses the same X-Speed 3 processor that's used in the Nikon D4 and the D800. Both of those cameras have the capabilities I'm about to talk about here, the three things that the D600 seems to be missing or are kind of messed up in some way. Number one, no live histogram in video live view. Just would make it a whole lot easier to get the exposure setting where you need it to be. It's not like the processor lacks the capability in the D600. If in fact Nikon's telling us the truth and it is the same processor, it looks to me like they disabled that capability in software or just didn't include that feature. Presumably because this is a more enthusiast level camera and not a pro level camera. That doesn't sit very well with me. If the hardware is capable of doing it, I don't know why they wouldn't include it. The differentiation, the $1,000 price difference, is really in the hardware. There's a different sensor in the D800, there's a different sensor in the D4, and they're really aimed at different groups and to do different things. I don't know why they had to leave that functionality out. It doesn't make any sense to me. Second thing is you cannot control the aperture when you go into live view. You have to pop back out of live view, set the aperture, go back into live view. Really just sort of a nuisance. There have been rumors that Nikon will be fixing that in a future firmware upgrade. I hope that's true. It's just really kind of annoying. It's not a deal breaker for me, but it is make it a little bit more convenient to work in movie mode. Third item, the D600 is capable of a clean HDMI out. Clean meaning it gives you 422 color, which means it's uncompressed color. It does it in 1080p, and that'd be a fantastic image, and it works beautifully on the D800. On the D600, however, it outputs with a black box around the perimeter of the actual footage. So you're really only getting 95% of the frame. And this is just, to me, doesn't make any sense. Again, if it's using the same processor, that was a feature that they used. It sounds like, I could be wrong, but 99% sure that Nikon is dumbing down this camera to make it so that it's not a professional tool. And it's just silly. It's like the processor's capable of it. if you're going to do clean out, why not just send the whole frame instead of just 95% of the frame? Overall, very happy with the camera, especially as a stills camera. As a video camera, I think it's okay. The images that come out of it are beautiful, but the tools that were kind of disabled in my perspective are kind of silly on Nikon's part. And I really love Nikon, and I wish Nikon would just get in the video game, or just kind of, they were the first one to do it with the D90, but they just seem to be kind of dipping their toes and not really going full on into that realm. And I really wish they'd just do it, because they have the hardware to support it, and it would just be a no-brainer. It would just really make I think it'd make the case for Nikon cameras that much stronger. So I hope you found this helpful. We'll have an upcoming review that talks a little bit about the differences between a full frame camera for video versus a crop frame camera. So for example, I've been shooting the Canon 60D, which was a crop frame, now the Nikon D600, and show you what the practical differences are between those. Thanks for checking out the show. We'll talk to you again soon.